I just recently added a Marriott card to my credit card setup, and my goal has been to get more exposure to the Marriott ecosystem. So I figured right now would be the perfect time to dive deep into Marriott's high-tier credit card, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. And so in this video, I'm going to explain my exact thought process for why I am now interested in Marriott credit cards. I'll dive deep into the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant and discuss all of the core components of that card that you need to know about. And finally, most importantly, I'm going to discuss who the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant makes sense for and who the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant does not make sense for. To start off this video, I think it's going to be important to understand why I'm shifting towards the Marriott ecosystem, since I used to be a Hilton loyalist. Up to just a couple months ago, I had 3 hotel cards, which were the Hilton Honors Card, Hilton Surpass card, and Hilton Honors Business card. With those cards, I've been able to accumulate a significant amount of Hilton points, which I've been able to redeem for free travel, such as when I used Hilton points and a free night certificate to cover my entire stay during my honeymoon a couple months ago. But as much as I do love the Hilton ecosystem, one thing that I've learned is that Hilton's global footprint is not as good as Marriott. Basically, I'm someone who wants to travel internationally as much as possible going forward, including to some more under the radar places. And after doing some research into some of the countries and places that I want to travel to, it has become clear to me that Marriott is the most present in a lot of those international locations in comparison to other hotel brands. So it made the most sense that I add some exposure to the Marriott ecosystem and overall adopted the strategy of being a hotel card free agent, in which I had exposure to multiple different hotel brands so that I can use points and free night certificates to stay at different hotel properties, and so that I have the flexibility to choose which properties fit in best with my planned travel. With that being said, the most recent hotel card that I added to my credit card setup was the Marriott Bonvoy Business card. I added this card because, first of all, the welcome bonus gave me the opportunity to earn 3 free night awards, and I do plan to use those free night awards during my trip to Panama and Colombia in early 2024. Plus, I do plan to use the Marriott Bonvoy Business card within my long-term hotel card strategy as well, because the Bonvoy Business is going to give you a free night award every single year just for having the card. So if you're simply able to use that free night award every single year, you'll get more value than the annual fee. Over the next year or so, I do plan to add a luxury hotel card to my credit card setup. And now that I've gotten a taste of the Marriott ecosystem, I want to dive deep and take a look at the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is Marriott's high-tier luxury credit card, so it does have a hefty annual fee of $650. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is currently offering a fantastic welcome bonus offer, in which you're able to receive 2 free night awards valued up to 85,000 points each if you're able to spend $6,000 or more in the first 6 months of having the card. So the value that you get from that sign-up bonus offer is going to give you significant positive value during year 1 from those free night awards. The point multipliers on the Bonvoy Brilliant are going to be for 6x back on Marriott properties, 3x back at restaurants and flights booked directly with airlines, and then 2x back on all other purchases. But since the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant does have that high annual fee of $650, let's take a look at some of the benefits and credits that you get on this card that can help to offset that annual fee. The first major credit that can help to move the needle in terms of reducing that annual fee is going to be a $300 dining credit that is split up into $25 monthly increments. American Express is infamous for making credits way harder to use than they really need to be, and the fact that this dining credit is split up into monthly increments just makes it way harder to use than if it was a yearly annual credit. Still though, if you go out to eat at a restaurant at least once per month, then you should be able to maximize that credit, and if you are able to do so, then you can reduce your effective fee on the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant down to just $350. Additionally, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is going to give you a free night award every single year valued up to 85,000 Marriott points. On the surface, that free night award is going to look incredibly valuable because Marriott points are valued on average at 0.8 cents per point, meaning that if you completely maximize the 85,000 points that you get on this free night award, you would get a total value of $680, which by itself is more value than the annual fee. However, I do think that that can be a little bit deceiving, because Marriott points valued up to 85,000 points are going to be the very top of the very top. And realistically, I don't think that many people are staying at those super luxurious Marriott properties consistently every single year. So as an example, after doing some research into the Marriott properties that are available in the travel destinations that I want to travel to, I found that the highest end properties in a lot of those places were in the 50 to 60,000 points per night range. And don't get me wrong, a lot of those 50,000 points per night properties were still super nice, such as the W Bogota that I plan to stay at next year. And also, I completely understand that everyone has different travel habits and you might have different travel preferences than me. So if you're able to maximize the 85,000 points per night awards, then more power to you. But if we value that free night award at about 50,000 points, since realistically, I think that's the value that most people will get, the value from that free night award would be $400, which is more value than the current $350 effective fee. Plus, there is an opportunity for additional upside since the 50,000 points per night is just a conservative estimate, and it's definitely possible to find some more luxurious Marriott properties and go ball out at a place like the Fulay Bay Ritz-Carlton in Thailand. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is also going to give you automatic Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite Status. And Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite Status is going to give you benefits like 4 p.m. late checkout, a welcome gift upon arrival, which sometimes is going to be something like free breakfast, and then lounge access at specific Marriott properties. However, the most important benefit with Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite Status is going to be room upgrades. The room upgrades with Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite Status are going to include being upgraded to suite level rooms. And I learned this from Chase Yakuyama, but when he discusses the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, one thing that he suggests to do is to book stays at multiple different Marriott properties instead of booking your entire stay at one specific property. The reason for this is because Marriott might be hesitant to upgrade you to a suite for 8 consecutive nights, and instead you'd be more likely to get upgraded if you just had a 2-night stay, which is going to be really important because room upgrades are the most important aspect of Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite Status. You'll get some other benefits as well, such as a $100 credit when you book a stay at Ritz-Carlton or St. Regis for 2 nights or more, a Priority Pass Select membership, which is going to give you access to Priority Pass airport lounges for yourself and up to 2 guests, and then a credit for global entry or TSA pre-check. But while it's really important to understand all of the benefits, it's even more important to understand who the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant actually makes sense for. So undoubtedly, the strongest case for getting the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is going to be if you're someone who is a Marriott loyalist. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant is the highest tier Marriott credit card and it's going to give you the best Marriott specific benefits. So if you are someone who significantly prefers to stay at Marriott properties, then you'll probably benefit the most from that free night award valued up to 85,000 Marriott points and Marriott Bonvoy Platinum Elite Status, plus having the opportunity to earn 25 Elite Night credits, which can help you on your way towards earning Marriott Titanium Elite Status. Next up, if you're someone who isn't necessarily loyal to one specific hotel brand, but you travel internationally pretty frequently, then the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant could also make a lot of sense for you since Marriott has the best global footprint. Finally, if you do think that you can maximize the $300 dining credit in the Marriott Free Night Award every single year, then even though the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant has that really high annual fee of $650, utilizing just those 2 benefits are going to give you positive value every single year, as long as you make sure that you're using them within your organic spending. But obviously, the Bonvoy Brilliant is a high-tier expensive credit card, so it's not gonna make sense for some people as well. For most people, it's probably gonna make more sense to go with a hotel credit card that has a lower annual fee, because $650 is a lot of money to pay for a hotel credit card, and there are a lot of cheaper alternatives that are out there that still give you important benefits like elevated status, free night certificates, and things like that. Next up, the Bonvoy Brilliant is probably not gonna make sense for you if you already have some high annual fee credit cards, and maybe you are starting to get overwhelmed with all the annual fee credit cards that you have and having to manage them and make sure that you're getting positive value from each of those cards. Especially if some of those annual fee credit cards are hotel cards like the Hilton Aspire, then in a lot of cases, there probably isn't going to be a need to add the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant. Additionally, if you already have dining credits that you get on another credit card like the American Express Gold Card, then I could see how needing to use another dining credit with the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant could be overwhelming. Finally, if you are a semi-Marriott loyalist, then maybe you do prefer to stay at Marriott properties, but you simply are just not able to travel that often, so paying $650 for a travel card just doesn't make that much sense to you, then instead of getting the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant, I would instead recommend getting a card like the $95 Bonvoy Boundless. So with all of that being said, am I personally going to get the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant? Well, I have started to shift into the Marriott ecosystem, and I already added the Marriott Bonvoy Business to my setup, and I do think that I would get positive value by utilizing the dining credit and free night award every year. Plus, I do plan to add a high-tier hotel credit card to my setup sometime in the next year or two. But I do think that the next Marriott credit card that I'm going to get is going to be the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless, since it just makes more sense given my current travel and spending preferences. When I do decide to add a luxury high-tier hotel card, I am leaning more towards the Hilton Aspire card, and that's just because you can get an insane amount of value from that card, and it only has an annual fee of $450. So if you have some Hilton points and you want to learn how to maximize the value that you get from your points, then go watch this video next. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.